Welcome to Kettle Moraine High School for Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights presented by Landmark Credit Union. Tonight, a Classic 8 matchup as Kettle Moraine plays host to Heartland Arrowhead. With Terry Kelly, John Weiser with you. Glad you're along tonight for this one. Arrowhead at 3-2, and Kettle Moraine coming in at 2-2 on the season.
Both teams lost games last week, and they said, both coaching staff said, we didn't have concentration. We made too many key mistakes.
Arrowhead falling to Waukesha West last week. Meanwhile, Kettle Moraine dropped a game to Oconomowoc.
Right, the drop passes, poor punting game, you name it, they felt that everything went wrong.
Running out of firsts here with our Thursday Night Lights. This is our first visit here to Kettle Moraine High School.
Right, wonderful facility. It's a little odd once again, we don't have fans. So
we're going to see a lot of different things tonight, but one thing remains the same with Heartland Arrowhead. They found a running game with their quarterback.
Right, and Coach Harris wanted us to, we always feature the offensive players to watch. He wanted his offensive line to be featured. Nick Blatnick, Nate Hess, Edwin Bilkey, Joey Okla, and Joey Woida have done a fantastic job clearing the way for Max Bredesen and the other backs.
Defensively for Arrowhead, who are we watching tonight?
Josh Ferrito is in the backfield, leading interceptor, and linebacker Jacob Parsons, senior, who's really come on this year.
Being interesting to watch tonight for Kettle Moraine on offense. They've got an outstanding quarterback and an outstanding wide receiver. Let's start with the receiver.
Matt Wagner, leading receiver on this season. Coach says he can go up in a crowd, catch a ball. Throwing the ball to him, sophomore Chase Spellman. A lot of folks have got their eye on him because for a young player, he's really showing he can throw the ball.
He's got one heck of an arm, that's for sure. And a pair of seniors on defense for Kettle Moraine.
Nolan Gendy, the coaches said if there's ball is somewhere, Nolan Gendy is going to be right in the area. And Tanner Carlson at linebacker, their leading tackler.
Should be some exotic formations tonight, too. We'll keep an eye out for that from Kettle Moraine. We've been told they've got a couple of wrinkles. They're going to debut here tonight. We're going to step aside. Coach's game plan will be coming your way next. And then the kickoff tonight from Kettle Moraine, our Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights, presented by Landmark Credit Union. And welcome back to Kettle Moraine High School in Wales tonight, where we get set for our season finale here of Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights presented by Landmark Credit Union. Before we kick it off, let's get the coach's game plan for tonight.
Well, Arrowhead says they can't get distracted by all the window dressing and the odd formations that Kettle Moraine's going to throw at them. They got to make sure they use their depth to wear Kettle Moraine down, and their concentration has to improve.
And for Kettle Moraine tonight, what do they need to do?
Number one, contain Max Bredesen. They also have to have their quick passing game work on offense so that they can set up a few of the other things they'd like to do tonight, and they've got to eliminate the foolish penalties.
Coach's game plan brought to you by Landmark Credit Union. Our kickoff tonight brought to you by the DEA, and we want to thank everyone who participated in National Take Back Day last Saturday. Over 90,000 pounds of unused and unwanted prescription medication collected. Learn where you can drop off medication year-round at DEATakeback.com. Kettle Moraine won the toss, deferred to the second half. Arrowhead will receive tonight.
We want to thank our officials.
Elijah Maharpar is the deep back inside the 10-yard line for Arrowhead. Warhawks in the white, Kettle Moraine in the gray. And our DEA kickoff set to go.
Classic 8 football.
Chase Machistek does the place kicking for Kettle Moraine. Teed it up, middle of the 40-yard line.
Back deep. Back deep for the Warhawks, number 16, Elijah Maharpar.
And the kick.
Kicking off for the Lasers.
Maharpar will bring it out across the 25. Stop just shy of the 30-yard line.
7-yard line.
about the 27-yard line. Micah
Number
Gilrud
7, Reed Spencer with
able
the
to get in
initial
there
hit.
to make the stop
Along
for
with
Kettle Moraine. So here's the
Micah
offense
Gilrud, number 31.
for Arrowhead. Max Bredesen,
10 Arrowhead.
6'2", 220 senior at quarterback. Renault
Ball
at
is
running
placed at
back.
28-yard
Argue
line.
and
Starts
Mahar
tonight.
Parr and Arnett are the wide receivers with Bittman the tight end. We mentioned the offensive line. Matt Harris very quick to point those guys out as the leaders for this running attack. First and 10 from the 27.
For the Warhawks.
They will hand it off. Out across the 30 to the
Ball
32-yard line.
Taken down after a gain of 3.
Renault with the carry.
Jordan Rennell for the Warhawks. Stuffed up in the middle
Alex
by
Duke
and company.
able to come in and make the stop for Kettle Moraine. Second down and 6. Single back, 4 receivers. Bredesen the quarterback. Going to be wrapped up just as he got across the line of scrimmage. Good job by the linebacker there, Drew Stipich. Got in there to make the tackle.
Number
You can see that
14
Bredesen,
for the
he's going to
Lakers
be
on the initial
doing
hit.
those dive fakes,
Crafton.
doing that read option. Keep the ball. That time they ran a straight power, trying to go right offside the tackle.
So 3rd and 3 for Arrowhead from their own 34-yard line. Trips formation here to the near side. Trying to set up the screen, and they cover it up well as he got the pass off to Renault. Tanner Carlson, honorable mention all conference, read it well, smelled it out, made the stop.
Defensive coordinator Anthony Crivello wanted to point out, Tanner Carlson's the leader of that defense, and they're going to have him try to counter anything that Bredesen might come up with.
One of my favorite high school football names at punter here, Sam Pulvermacher. Got to have a good foot with that, don't you?
Right.
Pulvermacher into punt. Matt Wagner will signal for and will make the fair catch just across the 31-yard line.
Fair catch by number 5, Nolan Dendy.
Check out the Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights presented by Landmark Credit Union. All of our games now streaming, available online at my24milwaukee.com. So our first look at the offense here for Kettle Moraine, and we've heard a lot about Chase Spellman, the quarterback.
He's going to have quite a collection of receivers. We could see any one of 4 or 5 different guys spread out all over the field.
They'll swing it out to Wagner. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, may have lost some yardage there, back inside the 30-yard line. Guy we featured, Josh Ferrito, right there.
In our coach's game plan, we mentioned that quick passing game. They felt they had to do that to counter the, effective front 4 of Arrowhead.
Loss of 1, second down 11 for the Lasers. There's the Arrowhead defense. Hess, Wojda, Kasinovich, and Swinehart up front. They will hand it off. Nothing there. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's about it. Nate Hess got in there.
3rd down and 12 for the Lasers.
Get to Connor King that time.
Warhawk tackle, number 61, Nate Hess.
Well, King is their leading ball carrier in the year. So far, 54 carries, 282 yards on the season.
Not too shabby in the classroom either. 4.46 GPA, I read.
Don't know if I can even compute that high.
I think between the 3 of us, we might get to 4.
If we get to add all 4 years together.
3rd and 12. Spellman going to put it up over the middle, and it's dropped.
Dropped over the middle. We'll bring up a 4th down for the Lasers.
Was looking for Luke Danielski, the flanker. And he wasn't able to handle it.
For the Warhawks.
Now, both coaches mentioned that in their losses a week ago, drop passes, they were each counting between 8 to 10 that they thought should have been completed.
Don Burklaw standing at his own 35, awaiting the punt from Nolan Shop. Rolls through a maze of players at the 40-yard line and will roll dead at the 34. Dangerous play there. You can hear the coaches yelling, get away from it. It was awfully close.
Yeah, when you're running back trying to block and all of a sudden you have no idea where that ball is, it's too easy to have that bounce off your leg or your back. Give the other team the ball right back.
Each team with a 3 and out to start this ball game. Second possession now for Arrowhead. Matt Lott's in there now as a fullback. They moved him off the offensive line this week, put him in the backfield.
Coach has said he's still going to be doing the same job. He's going to be blocking.
Got to throw him a bone, though, once in a while. They'll try and run it over the left side. Ball is out, loose at the 45, recovered by Kettle Moraine. Let's see here. Officials are going to rule him down. They're going to rule the player down. Alex Duke, I think, got in there. Tanky coughed up the ball, but was he down? Let's see.
Alex Duke on the tackle for the Lasers.
Watching the replay, yes, he was down. The ground caused that to come out. 2nd and 5. Tanky again trying to, or this is Jordan Renault, excuse me.
Ball carrier hit early.
Renault just across the line of scrimmage out to the 42-yard line. Luke Danelski there to make the stop.
Yeah, Tanky's trying to come back from a knee injury, missed last week's game. So probably see Renault in there quite a bit, trading time with him.
Another quick 3rd down here for Arrowhead at the 42-yard line. Single coverage press here at the line of scrimmage. Bredesen with the low snap. Throws it away, incomplete, far sideline.
Bredesen's pass incomplete. We'll bring up a 4th down.
Got that out quickly. I don't even think the receiver had turned on his route to look for the football that time as Bredesen got that one away.
Yeah, it was intended, I think, to go to Colin Argue, but he, I think, slipped up and ball fell to his outside.
So the Kettle Moraine defense once again forcing a punt here on the 2nd drive for Arrowhead. Pulvermacher to punt this one.
Back to punt deep. Sam Pulvermacher for the Warhawks. Gendy back for the Lasers.
This is Gendy back there, nearly got a block. Good high spiral kick. Gendy will field at the 30 and advance it out to the 35-yard line. Zach Minert got down there on special teams for Arrowhead. Almost midway through a scoreless first quarter here in Wales tonight.
One of the changes Arrowhead made from when we first saw them this year, Nate Hess, who's an outstanding defensive end, is actually going both ways. He's one of the starters in that offensive line. We'll see what kind of impact that has as we go through the game.
Spellman from pistol. Looks to throw over the middle, completes the pass to Spencer, out across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Gain of about 8 on the play. Jacob Parsons there to make the stop, the inside linebacker.
2nd and 2.
So quick 8 that time between Spellman and Spencer. Reed Spencer, the tight end. 7 catches now for 33 yards on the season. 2nd and 2. Comes back near side. Wagner makes the catch, has the first down, and is wrapped up there. Josh Frito there to make the stop, but enough for a Laser first down. And our first downs are brought to you by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
We mentioned before wanting to get that ball out quickly on that quick passing game, and that's exactly what Chase Spellman's been doing so far.
Wagner split out to the right side. Nolan Gendy here to the near side. And they'll hand it off. Big hole over the left side. Connor King down the near sideline. King inside the 5, may have stepped out near the 11-yard line. Connor King with a nice run. Brought down by Creedle and Arnett as we take another look.
Good speed. He shifted that ball to his outside arm.
Stepped out of bounds at the 11-yard line. 43-yard jaunt that time. They've reached the Stritch red zone. Brought to you by Cardinal Stritch University. When an opponent gets inside the 20-yard line, that's the Stritch red zone. Fake the handoff. Going to throw it into the back of the end zone. Penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage far side. Pass was incomplete. We'll check out the flag. It was thrown at the snap. Our referee tonight is Pat Gill.
We have no penalty on the flag. The formation was adequate.
No play on the play.
You know, one of the things that might have been confusing to the official, they've got the tight end, in that case, lined up behind the tackle. Another player in the backfield right behind him, and you're going to see them move, taxiing, we call it, moving from side to side, doing all kinds of things. So you always got to make sure they're not covered up by one of those outside receivers, and they've got enough men on the line of scrimmage.
Incomplete pass, so it's 2nd down and 10 from the 11-yard line. They can actually get inside the 1 for a first down. Spellman being chased. Throws on the run, we'll just throw it away. Arrowhead coaches looking for a grounding call there, but
I don't know if you see anybody in that quadrant of the field for the pass. The officials
Yep,
are
there
going
it
to
is.
talk
Yep.
about it.
there wasn't anybody out there in a gunmetal gray jersey. Costly penalty here.
Grounding on the quarterback offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Loss of down. 3rd down.
That's the hard part of that particular penalty, not so much the yardage, but you lose the down. So it takes them from 2nd and 15 to 3rd and 15. And they move the football all the way back to the 26-yard line here, so costlier penalty.
Seems to be some confusion with Kettle Moraine as who's in and who's out.
They have too many men on the field here. They get it right. Spellman being flushed, throws on the run again, and again threw it away as he was being chased out of the pocket. So let's see here, 4th down. Yep, Machistek, I should say, coming in for a field goal. He's 2 for 2 on the season. This will be a 43-yarder.
On to kick a field goal for the Lasers.
From the right hash. Logan Kowalski is the long snapper. Jackson Holzhauer, the holder. Low snap. Holzhauer gets it down. Low kick. And it will come up short. That penalty, the grounding penalty, hurt that drive. As we go scoreless here midway through our first quarter, we'll take a break. This is the Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights, presented by Landmark Credit Union. Scoreless first quarter here in Wales. Well, everybody's talking about it. Don't miss the Emmy Award-winning Schitt's Creek, weeknights at 9 and 9:30, but tonight right after the game, right here on My 24. Hand it off. Renew with the carry across the 20-yard line. David Trafton, the inside linebacker, there to make the stop.
Second down and 8.
You could see Matt Lotz being the lead blocker on that play, trying to free up Renault.
Second and 8. Again, trying to go over the left side. Got it to the 25, maybe the 26-yard line. Gain of about 4. Sets up 3rd and 4. Tanner Carlson, honorable mention all-conference linebacker, there to make the stop.
Big third down.
Well, Carlson anchors that middle.
Yeah.
They also given him the job of spying on Bredesen to make sure if Bredesen decides to keep that ball, he can flow, keep the quarterback in check.
3rd down and 4 from the 26. Come back near side. Catch is made. Elijah Maher-Parr with the catch. Spins forward across the 35-yard line for the first down. Peyton Schaff there to make the stop.
First down.
So Arrowhead gets their initial first down of the evening. 8-yard jaunt that time. Fresh set of downs here for Arrowhead. Bredesen squares up, delivers, and the catch is made right at the sticks.
Pass bobbled.
And they'll call it a catch. They'll move the chains. Nice job out there on the reception. That was Don Burklaw. Juggled it, but hung on to it just as he got to the chain. I mean, that's running it right to the sticks, Coach.
Right. But you could see Bredesen on the rollout delivered the ball well.
Arrowhead rolling to their own 47. First down. Again, they'll try and run it. This time it was Jackson Tanky.
Number 12,
Tanky, the 6'1 senior.
Tanky on
Second
the
carry of the game. Trafton there to make the
Second
stop.
down and 7.
Gain of about 3 for Tanky.
As we mentioned, Tanky trying to come back from a minor knee injury, and they're trying to ride that excellent offensive line, trying to wear down the Kettle Moraine defense.
2nd and 7. Just short of midfield. Bredesen under pressure, delivers a low strike, incomplete.
We'll bring up a third
Got some
down.
pressure that time as he stepped into
Third
that
down
throw.
and 7 for the
Everybody
Warhawks.
was Nate Genzel, who was coming in off that right defensive end. I think Bredesen could quite step into that throw with that defensive end coming at him.
Head coach Matt McDonald thinks that Genzel is so far has been their best defensive lineman on the season. You could see him put that pressure on Max that time.
And they're young up front, a couple of juniors, Schluter and Genzel. Gullard is the senior on that defensive front. 3rd down and 7. This time Bredesen with time. Now it breaks down on the scramble. Bredesen to the near sideline. He's tumbled out of bounds, close to a first down. They will give it to him. Bredesen getting the first down with his feet. Stipik. And we've got the player down.
Max Bredesen.
Bredesen is down. Max Bredesen, the quarterback, is injured on the play. So we'll step aside. We have a feature here, Community Advocates and Alicia Mallinger.
So our organization, the West Southwest Milwaukee Heroin and Opiate Task Force, in partnership with MCSAP, which means Milwaukee County Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition, is involved with the high school football because that's where our prevention starts. So through MCSAP funding and through Community Advocates funding, our task force has created the program called Safe and Supported, where we go into middle and high schools in the Milwaukee County area, and we really start at the root of prevention, which is good mental health care, substance abuse prevention, education, and life skills. So we go and we help these kids learn all about substances and the different parts that make up their mental health so that they can choose how to best live their life. Yeah, it's great that you guys are back out there. We're so excited for you. Keep doing what you're doing. You guys obviously love the sport. You love the activities you're involved in. Find that bit of passion and put it towards anything that you can really truly relate to in your life, and you guys will be great.
Alicia, thank you. And they're still tending to Bredesen, the quarterback, here on the near sideline.
Yeah, Max, has carried the ball 91 times on the year. Many of them, of course, have been on scrambles, not just so much on the read option. Can't tell whether he's got an ankle.
He's going to be helped back over to the Arrowhead sideline, and certainly hope this is not a serious injury for the senior.
Yeah, Max missed all of last year due to a broken collarbone, so he was coming into this year without real tremendous amount of varsity experience and was doing really well. Been offered a preferred walk-on from University of Michigan, which is certainly familiar with the Bredesen family.
Charlie Smith, a junior now, will take over at quarterback for Arrowhead. It'll be 1st and 10 Arrowhead at the Kettle Moraine 44-yard line.
First down for the Warhawks.
So first snap to Smith, and he will hand it off. They find some running room up the middle for a first down to the 35-yard line. Tanky with a nice carry. Peyton Schaff there to make the stop.
Peyton Schaff on the stop, 2nd down and 1 for the Warhawks.
Gain of about 9 on the play for Tanky.
When I came out to the Arrowhead practice this week, I watched Charlie throw the ball, and the coaches commented, if it weren't for Max Bredesen being around, Charlie could very well have been their starting quarterback all year.
With time, delivers a nice ball, leaping grab, touchdown Arrowhead. Brady Russ, the senior, first pass by Charlie Smith tonight, goes for a touchdown.
Well, that was right on time when I mentioned that they were pleased with how well he threw the ball.
Look at how he thread the needle there between 2 defenders. 44-yard touchdown pass by Charlie Smith to Brady Russ, his 2nd touchdown reception of the year. It comes late here in this first quarter after Bredesen left with the injury.
They point out Brady's also an excellent baseball player, and you could see him follow that ball well with his eyes and bring it in.
Ty Bittman for the extra point. Nick Blatnick will center. The holder is Arnett, and the kick is good. 7-0 Arrowhead. 44-yard touchdown pass from Charlie Smith, 6'2", 185, and a junior. Again, you couldn't have thrown that any better. Threading the needle there, right between the 2 defenders. Holzhauer and Schaff, the 2 defenders. So Arrowhead takes the 7-0 lead late here in this first quarter.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Arrowhead reacts moving forward. Oftentimes you lose your leader, kids rally around that. Obviously, Charlie stepped in there and had an excellent throw. A lot of game yet to be played, so have to see how that kind of develops as we go through, but certainly a nice auspicious start.
Bittman to kick this one away.
Wagner back deep along with Bolshauer and Jones. Tyler Bittman kicking
Again,
off
our
for the Warhawks.
DEA National Takeback Kickoff brought to you by the DEA. And this one's going to go through the end zone on a touchback.
Well, Ty Bittman, has got a preferred walk-on offer from Wisconsin. Was a second-team All-Conference performer as a kicker last year, and he really got into that ball this time.
The Badgers brought in a Division III punter that walked on this year, so they're looking for some specialties. 1st and 10 from the 20. Spellman will hand it off. Nothing there.
Number 25,
Connor King that time. Braden Arnett, I should say, with the stop.
met by a flock of Warhawks.
Kettle Moraine would certainly like to atone for having wasted Connor King's excellent run.
Yeah, it was that grounding penalty that took them out of 2nd and 10 from the 11. Moved it back out to the 26-yard line, plus they lost the down, missing the field goal. Spellman over the middle, and it was nearly picked off. Was looking for Nolan Schopp coming over the middle. The fullback, Sam Creedle, was there on defense for Arrowhead.
Well, Arrowhead's been rushing one of their outside linebackers quite often, and that's helping to put extra pressure on Spellman, having to get that ball out just a shade before he would like to.
So 3rd and 11 now for Kettle Moraine. Under a minute to go here in this first quarter. Back judge already has his arm raised. He's starting to count it off. Spellman, I don't think, sees it. Oh, it was very close. Just got the snap off. Spellman on the scramble will be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Arrowhead defense buttons down here. And it'll bring up 4th down for the Lasers.
Kettle Moraine coaches were well aware of how much pressure Arrowhead was going to be putting on that passing game. And it seems any time that Spellman has to wait to try to have a receiver get open, he's under tremendous pressure.
Burklaw and Russ, the 2 deep backs for Arrowhead near midfield. Nolan Schopp, the sophomore, does the punting. At 47, out to the 45-yard line. Nice return that time by Brady Russ, brought down by Tanner Carlson.
Well, good field position for Arrowhead to begin this drive.
Again, if you're just joining us, Max Bredesen, the quarterback, injured on a scramble.
Let's try it again. Number 11, Brady Russ on the return for the Warhawks.
So Charlie Smith at quarterback for his 2nd series. They will hand it off, coming around the right side. Tanky, nowhere to go. Tried to climb around the right side, but was brought down immediately by Sam Creedle. Credell with the nice tackle.
Well, Charlie's not the running threat that Max Bredesen is. His action this year, he was 4 for 4 in a game he appeared in and did throw one touchdown pass. But not having Bredesen as an option back there on that read option, it's kind of, we'll see what kind of adjustments Arrow is going to make.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12. And trying to run it. Ball is out, and it's going to be laser ball. Second time it's come out tonight. This time it will count as a fumble. Take another look here, if we can, before we go to break. Guess we're just going to go ahead and take our commercial break. We'll run a replay when we come back. 7-0 Arrowhead after 1. Seven nothing Arrowhead as we get set for the second quarter. Coming up in the Cousins Halftime Report, we'll highlight this week's Scholar Athlete nominee. This year our weekly nominees and considered in the running for a portion of $5,000 in scholarship money, courtesy of Buban Orthodontics. That's all coming up on the Cousins Halftime Report. That fumble led to Kettle Moraine taking over here at their own 42-yard line. Here's the look. Zach Meinert on the carry and then got, as he was going down, lost control of the football. And the Lasers fell on it. 2nd down and 10. Spellman with time. Thrown low and incomplete. Intended that time for Cody Jones, 5'11" senior. So quickly 3rd and 10 for Kettle Moraine.
That time, instead of trying to get the ball out wide, they were trying to use 2 crossing patterns in the middle, dragging across right behind the line of scrimmage. Just couldn't quite make the connection.
Again, a lot of time here. Back judge is already counting it down, and so Kettle Moraine will take a timeout. Timeout Lasers, their first of the half. Early here in the second quarter, trailing 7-0. Later in the game tonight, we'll highlight a watershed moment of tonight's game, brought to you by the Southeast Wisconsin Watershed Trust. Arrowhead scoring on a 44-yard touchdown pass from Charlie Smith. In at quarterback. Got it out to Brady Russ. Max Bredesen, injured on a scramble here in the first quarter, has not returned. So that's the storyline here for the Arrowhead Warhawks. Their quarterback injured tonight in the first quarter. Spellman and crew facing a 3rd and 10 to recovering a fumble. Now under pressure, and down he goes back at the 36-yard line. That was Alec Swinehart chasing down Spellman that time for the sack.
Swinehart was an honorable mention all-conference performer a year ago, and he's getting a lot of D2 looks. Nice size, 6'2", 225.
So 4th down. Shop to punt. Burklaw standing at the 30-yard line. Shop gets this one away. Fair catch signaled for by Burklaw. Bobbled it, and it's recovered by the Lasers. Back at the 22-yard line, Went right off the shoulder pad of Burklaw. John Heck, I believe, came up with it. Second turnover by Arrowhead tonight. And again, Burklaw was running up under it, signaling fair catch.
It'll be interesting to see how close the Kettle Moraine man covering the punt gets to Burklaw, because I think he got distracted there right at the end.
Just dropped that head a little bit to see what was coming, and that was enough. Here it is again. You can see he took his eye right off of it. So Kettle Moraine now with some opportunity. Grab over the middle inside the 10 down to the 9-yard line. Cody Jones, second catch tonight. Excuse me. Jake Bloomer was there defensively, and they've reached the stretch red zone. All season when a team gets inside their opponent's 20, they enter the stretch red zone. Text GO WOLVES to 75644 for information about Cardinal Stritch University.
Nice slant pattern that time by Jones.
First and goal inside the 10. Quick delivery, Spellman, and it was behind the receiver. Again, looking for Jones. Second and goal for Kettle Moraine. Trying to answer here early in the second quarter. Spellman. Pass is knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Incomplete. Big that defensive line getting up. Might have been Kusinovich, the 6'3", 270 junior, may have gotten a hand on that.
Well, Arrowhead's oftentimes bringing 5, sometimes 6 guys, really trying to put the pressure on Spellman.
Well, it's third and goal from the 9. Trying to take advantage of the muff punt. Low snap, rolls back to Spellman. Now he's being chased, and he's going to just take it out of bounds. That was all set up by the bad snap. Chased out of there by Arnett. And now Spellman coming back, shaking his passing hand.
Yeah, Arnett was a first-team all-conference performer. He's a 4-year starter for them, something you don't see at Arrowhead very often.
Field goal unit back on, second attempt tonight. This one will be a 32-yard attempt from the left hash mark. Missed from 43 earlier. This from 32. Tech gets it away, and it is good. Chase Machistek, 3 for 4 in field goals now this season. Gets the Lasers on the board by a score of 7-3. So they finally take advantage of the 2 turnovers here in this second quarter, Coach.
Right, and you know, Chase is a nice guy to come back to because he was honorable mention last year as a sophomore in the Classic 8. So good, strong leg, that time able to come through.
So they recover a fumble. Weren't able to do much with it. Punted on that drive, and then on the Burklaw muffed on the fair catch, able to cash it in for 3 points.
I'll see if that energizes the Kettle Moraine offense, gets them going. You know, Spellman so far in the evening is 4 for 12. I'm sure they'd like to have him get hot as they get through the second quarter, but they need their defense to rise up again.
Elijah Mayer Parr standing deep. Chistek with quite the leg. Let's see if he reaches the end zone here. This will be a line drive, caught on the run, then dropped by Parr. Across the 10, 15, cuts it back right side, across the 25, and out to the 27-yard line. Good return. Again, our kickoffs this season brought to you by DEA. Micah Gilrud there on the stop for the Lasers.
Now, so oftentimes you see that when the returner drops the ball momentarily, I think the defense kind of stops to take it in, and before you know it, guy often finds a seam.
As well as the Waukesha County Sheriff Department for being here this evening. Take care of us all.
Charlie Smith taking over at quarterback. Max Bredesen injured midway through that first quarter. He'll hand it off. Renault across the 30, out near the 34-yard line. Nice run of about 6-7 yards that time by Renault. Stipich there to make the stop.
On the stop. Jordan Renault on the carry for the Warhawks. Second down.
Warhawks have been alternating Renault and Tanky at that running back position.
Renault is the deep back behind the quarterback. He'll take it again. Right side. Gets to the line of scrimmage, maybe the 35. That's about it. Gain of 2. Nice stop by the interior defense for Arrowhead.
And Gendy, Holzhauer.
So it sets up a 3rd and 2.
Third down and 3.
Lasers looking to show pressure here. They do off the edge. They'll run it with Tanky, and he'll get the first down out across the 40. Ball came out again. Officials walking in there. No signal yet. And it is Laser ball. 3rd fumble of the half by Arrowhead. Holzhauer, I think, came up with it. One more look. Just as Tanky was about to go down, that ball got stripped out. The Lasers take over at the 41-yard line. There's the turnover chain. They got that working here at Kettle Moraine this year. Made famous by the U, I believe. So 1st and 10 Lasers. Just shy of the Arrowhead 40-yard line, trailing by 4. They forced 3 fumbles here. Now the catch is made. Across the 35, down to the 30-yard line. That was Cody Jones. Should have enough for a first down. Owen Arnett.
Another one of those little wrinkles. They bring the guy in motion all the way across and then throw back to that far side of the field.
Gain of 9. 2nd and 1. Wagner's lined up in a slot here to the near side. That's where they're going to go. Ball's in the air, and it's deflected, incomplete. Thrown in a double coverage that time. Ferrito and Cradell both there defensively in front of Danelski.
I think Arrowhead thought they should have had an interception on that one. It went right through his arms. Get a chance to replay this.
Oh, yeah. So 3rd and 1 now for the Lasers. They'll hand it off with some running room. Connor King, gain of about 8 and a first down. Aiden Bryan there to make the stop. Another Gruber Law Office's first down for the Lasers keeps this drive moving.
King on the year has carried the ball for close to 300 yards now and 2 touchdowns.
King the single back behind Spellman. They'll give it to King, and he's wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. Parsons, Jacob Parsons, inside linebacker there for Arrowhead. No gain on the play, 2nd down and 10. And officially 2 turnovers tonight by Arrowhead. First fumble tonight was ruled down by contact. Second and 10. Play fake, comes back near side, airmails it. Intended for Luke Danielski. So quickly 3rd down now for the Lasers.
Well, given the pressure that Arrowhead's been bringing, I'm sure the Kettle Moraine coaches might be considering some kind of a screen pass. Try to see if they can pop one here.
From the 23, 3rd and 10. Go back over the middle. Catch is made. Cody Jones making the grab, but he's going to be short of the 1st down. Bring up 4th and about 2 here for the Lasers. Decision time now for Matt McDonald. They've reached the stretch red zone, but facing 4th down, looks like the offense is going to stay on the field here.
Offensive coordinator Nick Schrader, see what he's come up with as a play that they feel can get them the 1st down.
Spellman looking for the lob for Jones, and it's not going to connect, or excuse me, Danielski looking for the fade in the back corner. Ferrito was there defensively. And so Arrowhead will take over on that after that 4th down play. Going back pylon that time for the senior. Too much air underneath that. So it remains 7-3 Arrowhead. They'll take over.
Well, so far Kettle Moraine has to look at the number of opportunities they've had to maybe put points on the board. Have to see if this is going to come back to bite them.
Smith will hand it off. Renault trying to dive forward across the 20 out to the 22. Holzhauer there to make the tackle. Gain of about 5 on the play for Renault. Midway through our 2nd quarter, 7-3 Arrowhead. Kettle Moraine's had 3 opportunities in the red zone tonight. They scored on just 1 of them. This time they'll run it over the left side. Duke was there to make the tackle. So it brings up 3rd and 1. Renew in the backfield, along with Lotz, the fullback. Charlie Smith, the quarterback. We'll give it to Renault. Buries his head up the middle, and he'll get the 1st down. Out to the 29-yard line. David Trafton there to make the stop. Gruber Law Office's 1st down for Arrowhead.
Well, not having Max Bredesen in, it takes away that quarterback phase of that read option, and I'm sure Kettle Moraine is making adjustments for how they want to handle this.
Throw it over the middle, has a man there, makes the catch. Russ inside the 25 down to the 23-yard line. Brady Russ On a beautifully thrown ball by Charlie Smith, Gendy finally got him down. And a late flag after the play. "57-yard pass strike," but let's see what the penalty is here. Pat Gill is our referee tonight.
The play was over. Dead ball foul and sportsmanlike. Number 11. It'll be half the distance, 15 yards. First down.
Unsportsmanlike.
So an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Brady Russ after the play.
Yeah, he said half the distance. I think momentarily confused there.
So they'll put 15 back from the point of the run.
At this time, with the homecoming
So they'll move it back to the 38-yard line.
here, Mr. Jay Bester.
Arrowhead will retain possession. And these are some of the things, the mental mistakes tonight by Arrowhead. And Matt Harris was talking about this week that the last couple weeks have really hurt this Arrowhead team.
Right, the fumbles, that time a penalty where something must have been said.
Now flags, whistle before the snap. False start penalty here on Arrowhead.
False start on the offense, the center. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Sir. 5-yard penalty.
Edwin Bilkey
First and 15.
kind of double clutch the snap. First and 15. Renault breaks it to the outside. Renault down to about the 30-yard line. And we got an injured Kettle Moraine player down who was attempting to make that tackle, Jackson Van Opel.
Second and 2.
And so officials will stop play here for the injury. We'll take our commercial break. 3:56 to go here in the half. Arrowhead on top of Kettle Moraine 7-3. Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights presented by Landmark Credit. Well, something unnatural is happening in the swamps of Louisiana. Dark waters hide deep secrets in the CW series Swamp Thing, Tuesdays at 7 on CW 18. Jackson Vorpal was the injured player. He walked off under his own power back here to the laser sideline. Being looked at. Some sort of an arm or shoulder injury. Second down and 2 for Arrowhead. Big play here. The bat's knocked down, incomplete. Getting his paws on that one was Nate Genzel. Again, you can see that athleticism from Genzel, the defensive end.
This front for Kettle Moraine is kind of undersized compared to the offensive line for Memorial. And they've been, for Arrowhead, they've been holding up pretty well. Gullerud is only 190 pounds. Schloter is 180. Nate Genzel, 245, but they're holding their own.
3rd and 2, and we got a whistle stopping play. Arrowhead getting a timeout. Matt Harris didn't like what he saw there. So while we step out, we'll introduce you once again to Dan Scholes from Cardinal Stritch University.
Well, Cardinal Stritch University is sponsoring Thursday Night Lights for a couple of different reasons. Most importantly, we want to support our local high schools and, of course, showcase Wisconsin student athletes. Well, one of the most unique features about Cardinal Stritch University, of course, is our Catholic Franciscan identity and our innovative and creative curriculum that we've developed at both undergraduate and graduate levels. So at the undergraduate, we now have a curriculum that you can actually create your own major with. We certainly have biology and math and history, but if you're interested in other kinds of fields that maybe haven't even been created yet, we have majors designed for you. Well, you can join more than 40,000 Stritch alumni by going to our stritch.edu website and learn more about all the programs we offer. We here at Cardinal Stritch University are so proud to be your sponsor, and we wish you a very safe and healthy and successful season.
Thank you to Cardinal Stritch University this year. As Renault bounces off tackles, takes it to the outside, inside the 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Arrowhead. Jordan Renault originally was going to take that run up the middle, but kept climbing and bouncing around the right side and got it in. One more look. Spun off two different tackles and then cut to the outside. And it was a foot race. He won the tape.
Renault, good speed. They're looking for him to be a big help to the track team this spring as well.
Bittman to tack on the extra point. That one is up and no good. Wide left. 13-3, Arrowhead, 3:41 remaining. Well, coming up in the Cousins Subs halftime report, we will highlight this week's Scholar Athlete nominees, get the opportunity to meet a few of the sponsors that help make TNL happen, and we'll take a look at the highlights from our first half. Another look at the touchdown here. Excuse me, the 30-yard run.
Got a good block that time from number 36, Matt Lotz. Pinned that guy, and Renault bounced outside of that block to take it in for the touchdown. Well, Arrowhead's, John's going to kind of have to redo their game plan because Max Bredesen running the read option as well as his scrambling ability is so much a part of their offense. Now with Charlie Smith in there, now you got a whole different dynamic going on.
That time it was Renault. Third touchdown run of the year for Renault. From 30 yards out, puts Arrowhead back up by 10. Ball falling off the tee. Once again, kickoffs brought to you by the DEA. Learn how to safely dispose of your unused and unwanted prescription medication. Go to DEATakeback.com. This past weekend, over 90,000 pounds of prescription drugs taken back. Wagner dropped it, now picks it up. And he's going to be met just across the 5 and a penalty marker down as well.
Wagner on the return, pick up a couple. Flag on the play.
Down there for Arrowhead, Zach Menert. But there was a flag inside the 20 as well here.
During the return, we have a block below the waist on the return team. Number 2, half the distance, first down.
So the Lasers will be pinned deep in their own territory here. Matt Wagner juggling that kickoff, and then in the process of trying to get out across his own 5, got the block below the waist. They'll start this drive inside their own 5. Try and run. They get to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. They have lost a yard.
Flag on the play.
Swinehart was there. Make the stop.
No flag on the play. The formation was legal.
Second time.
Down.
Second time tonight, the officials looking at that exotic formation and going, wait a minute now, enough in the backfield, or are there too many in the backfield? Second and 10 for the Lasers inside their own 4-yard line.
Well, Tom Kashenovitz and Alex Swinehart kind of teamed up on that right side of the defensive line to stop that last play.
Spellman will hand it off. Connor King across the 5 out to the 6-yard line. Got a couple. A little bit of breathing room now for Kettle Moraine here on 3rd down. And the Warhawks will take a timeout on defense here with just under 3 minutes left. They'll take their second charge timeout here of the half. We talked about the take-back this past weekend by DEA. Here now to tell more about it is Paul Maxwell.
The DEA and the Wisconsin Department of Justice are proud to be partners with Thursday Night Lights, and we're happy to see football being played this fall in southeast Wisconsin. We wanted to make sure we got a message out to all students and family about the dangers of opioid abuse that we're still seeing, particularly with COVID-19 pandemic. We've seen an increase in overdoses as well as deaths related to this. We're hoping that we can partner with you, the families and students, to help alleviate this abuse here in Wisconsin. At any time during the year, you can drop off any unused, unwanted medications at the locations listed in the websites below. No questions will be asked when you drop the medications off, and this could save lives of family members or friends. We also want to wish all of the players, fans, cheerleaders, everyone a great football season. Thank you.
Well, a tip ball that ends up into Sam Cradell's hands, and the turnover machine starting up now for Arrowhead. Spellman's pass picked off by Cradell. Looked like Parsons might have gotten a hand on it, Jacob Parsons, with the deflection to his teammate Cradell.
Yeah, the coaches, defensive coordinators, Cam Gonring, Dan D'Amico, couldn't rave enough about Parsons, and a senior who's really emerged this year as one of their leaders.
Looking for Nolan Shop on that pass play. Arrowhead set up with a golden opportunity in the stretch red zone at the Laser 15-yard line. Lob, back corner, catch, touchdown. Dom Burklaw with the touchdown catch, second one thrown by Charlie Smith tonight. And Arrowhead capitalizes on the interception, up 19-3.
19-3,
Nicely thrown ball by Smith. Going for the back corner, found Burklaw for the touchdown reception.
Well, Charlie on the night's 3 for 4 with 2 touchdown passes. Not bad stepping in to replace Max Bredesen.
Bittman for the extra point. Missed one earlier, now the bad snap. The holder, Owen Arnett, scrambling away, and Arnett, did he get it in? He did for 2. Owen Arnett saves the day on the extra point. Snap rolled back. Excuse me, and Arnett took off around the side. And he got it in.
Yeah, we mentioned Owen, is a 4-year starter for these guys. Offense, defense, special teams, he's all over the field. His father, Brad Arnett, one of the coaches also out at Arrowhead.
21-3, Arrowhead capitalizing on the interception. Well, check out the Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights presented by Landmark Credit Union. We're online. All of our games are streaming online right now at my24milwaukee.com.
Back deep for the Lasers.
Another DEA take-back kickoff. And Wagner from inside his own 5. Now cuts back up. Doesn't make the 20. Brought down by Evan Nyhouse and Aiden Jensen.
It'll be interesting to see what the mindset is here for Kettle Moraine, what they want to do with a little over 2:40 left in the half. They gonna come out and press the case, or are they just going to try to get to halftime?
Spellman will want to throw. Now we'll cut up field. He'll get out of bounds near the 25-yard line. Arnett chasing him to the boundary that time. Gain of about 5, sets up 2nd and 5, stops the clock with 2:34 to play.
You know, on the year, Spellman had rushed over 40 times. It's odd tonight he hasn't really been involved in the running game that much.
2nd and 5. Spellman again looking to throw. Comes back near side to Wagner. Makes the catch, but was covered up immediately on the play. Aiden Bryan got there again. Sets up a 3rd down now for Kettle Moraine. Clock rolling. 2:15 to go here in the half. This time they'll put 3 receivers to the left of the formation here. Spellman on the blitz. They pick it up, and he overshoots the intended target that time.
Also stops the clock, gives Arrowhead another shot.
Looking that time for Jackson Holzhauer. So now Arrowhead with 1 timeout remaining can keep that in their hip pocket. Now we've got a flag. Too many men, I think. Sideline warning.
Sideline warning.
We have a sideline warning on Arrowhead. That's their first sideline warning. 4th out.
And coaches are supposed to stay back behind the white on that sideline. Not to interfere with the chain or the officials coming down the sideline. Arrowhead will let this punt bounce and roll inside the 35, and it will roll dead at the 30.
Punt out to the 30-yard line.
So just over a minute and a half to go here in this first half. Arrowhead will have the football with 1 timeout. And if you're just joining us, midway through the first quarter, Max Bredesen injured on a scramble coming to the near sideline. Try and get a word, perhaps from Matt Harris at the half.
Can see Max over on the sidelines on crutches right now.
Kinds of time. They come back to the sticks far side. Smith able to throw a strike out there to Elijah Meher Parr. Peyton Schaff in coverage there for Kettle Moraine. So again, first down. Gruber Law Office's first down. Stops the clock. Minute 29 to play. Charlie Smith has time. Now comes back, throws it again. Elijah Meher Parr will pick up the first down across midfield. Again, Peyton Schaff there to make the stop. Moves the chains. Again, Arrowhead still with that one timeout remaining. From the 47. Completes to the outside, getting out of bounds. Nope, going to say he did not have the feet set as he's trying to make the catch down Burklaw. So second down and 10. Clock stop, minute 8 to play. Smith with time. Back over the middle. Catch is made inside the 35 down to the 33-yard line. Burklaw again with the catch. Drew Stipik there to make the stop.
Nice catch that time by Burklaw, reaching out, pulling that ball in.
So Arrowhead methodically moving the football here. Another Gruber Law Office's first down. Still with that one timeout if they need it. And again, Smith with all kinds of time. This time it's intercepted. Picked off, out of the backfield with it. That was Brady Stutt. David Trafton, I believe. Trafton, yes, indeed, the interceptor that time, the inside linebacker. Pass was thrown just a little bit behind the intended receiver.
Yeah, shade over his receiver that time.
Third turnover tonight by Arrowhead. 2 fumbles and an interception. Trafton with the pick. So Kettle Moraine with 2 timeouts of their own here, trying to get something going. They blitz off the right side, throwing on the run. And we're calling this an incomplete pass. There's also a flag on the play. Might have had a lineman downfield. Holding, I believe, is going to be the call here.
50. Holding. Number 50 of the offense. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Sam Sofel, the right tackle, guilty of the hold. So 1st and 20 now for Kettle Moraine. Back at their own 27-yard line. Empty backfield, they'll send everybody out. Pass is in the air, but well overthrown, looking for Matt Wagner. In the pressure, Spellman trying to read that pressure just a little bit and thinking he didn't have as much time as he has to get rid of that football. And Wagner still hadn't come out of his break on the route. Second down and 20. Spellman flushed. Will slide down at the 33. He gets up rather slowly. Clock continues to roll here. Kettle Moraine just going to let it
go,
run down. So the clock melts out. Our first half comes to an end. And a late turnover by the Lasers, an interception by Heartland Arrowhead, and the touchdown pass and subsequent 2-point conversion has put the Warhawks on top here by a score of 21-3 after our first half. We'll step out, take a break. Our Cousins Subs halftime report coming your way next. This is the Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights presented by Landmark Credit Union. This is the Cousins halftime report here on the Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights presented by Landmark Credit Union. 21-3, Arrowhead on top of Kettle Moraine. Kind enough to be joined now by Matt Harris, the head football coach at Arrowhead. Matt, I guess the big question is, how's Bredesen?
You know, he's got high spirits right now. I mean, initial indications aren't, everyone worries right away when a knee goes down, but initial indications were nothing with the ACL, so that gave us a little hope, so that's it. But other than that, he's in great spirits. He's crutching around right now.
Ironically, Coach, when I visited with you at practice this week, we were talking about Charlie Smith. I watched him throw the ball. I said, looks pretty good. And you mentioned that any other year he might be your starting quarterback.
Right, yeah. No, he did a phenomenal job. He stepped right in, and just his confidence and poise, and that's what we talked about all week, just with the whole team. But for him to walk in and launch a post on the second play under that kind of poise and pressure, that gave us a jolt.
And your defense forcing the turnover late, leading to points here. That's got to charge up your players a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a whole team effort out there tonight. This is what we practiced for all week, and just feeding off each other. And I'm super proud of our team and our coaches for doing exactly what we plan to do.
Obviously, with out Max in there, it's kind of changing your game plan a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get to have that big 225 kid coming around the edge, getting first downs for you as much. But Charlie will figure that piece out as he keeps going. But, yeah, it adjusted things, and credit to Jordan. He had a great second quarter there. So,
well, Coach, good luck the rest of the way. Thanks for joining us.
Excellent. Thank you. We'll see you guys.
You bet. Matt Harris, head football coach at Heartland Arrowhead. Well, tonight we'd like to highlight our special student athletes as we're proud to present our Bubon Orthodontics Scholar Athlete of the Week nominee. And our nominee this week from Kettle Moraine High School is Luke Ishig. Luke participates in football, basketball, and track as a captain and 2-year starter. He scored a 36 on his ACT, is a Dick Ohm Merit Award recipient, and participates in the National Honor Society and Model UN. Coach Mack says Luke is a tremendous person, does everything that is asked of him and more. Football requires an intensive year-round commitment, and Luke participates in all of it. He does this while maintaining his grades and balancing multiple sports and clubs. Congratulations to Luke Ishig. Our weekly Scholar Athlete nominees are in the running to receive $5,000 in scholarship money, courtesy of Bubon Orthodontics at the end of the season. Speaking of Bubon Orthodontics, here's Ashley Almadar.
Hi, I'm Ashley with Bubon Orthodontics. We are so excited to sponsor the Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights Scholar Athlete. At Bubon Orthodontics, we are a family treating families, and this is our way to give back to our community, who we see as an extension of our own family. Being a part of Thursday Night Lights allows us to be an active part of our community and support high school football. We are so grateful for this opportunity to make a difference in a student's life, to help them succeed, and to let you know how great these students really are. That's what we pride ourselves in doing every day as we transform smiles and boost confidence. Sponsoring Scholar Athlete makes us smile too. Good luck on a great season.
And we want to thank the fine folks at Bubon Orthodontics, been with us now the last couple of years, part of our Thursday Night Lights package. 21-3, Arrowhead on top of Kettle Moraine. Our Cousins Subs halftime report continues right after this. And welcome back to the Cousins Halftime Report here on the Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights, presented by Landmark Credit Union. We want to thank the fine folks at Landmark for jumping on board this year. Here to tell us more is Brian Melter from Landmark Credit Union.
Brian Melter, Chief Experience Officer with Landmark Credit Union. Landmark Credit Union is thrilled to be sponsoring the high school football broadcast as part of the Thursday Night Lights program on My24. It's a great way for us to give back to the communities that we serve. At Landmark, we've been successful by providing great service to our members with better rates and lower fees, investing in our associates, and supporting the communities that we serve. We're only as strong as the communities that we work and live in every day. Schools are a place where communities come together to see students succeed, whether it's in arts, sports, or academics, and that has gone on for generations. I remember as a Wauwatosa West grad spending many a night at Hart Park watching our sports teams win. And we're proud to keep that tradition going with the Thursday Night Lights program. Landmark has 33 branches in southern Wisconsin, with 2 more under construction in Glendale and Mequon. In fact, there's a branch close to the 2 teams that are competing here tonight. Just go to landmarkcu.com to find the branch that's closest to you.
And Landmark Credit Union wishes the best of luck to both teams tonight. Arrowhead fans, you can find your local Landmark branch in Heartland on Cardinal Lane. And Kettle Moraine fans, your hometown branch is located on Grandview Boulevard in Waukesha. For more information, visit landmarkcu.com. And we thank Landmark for being part of our sponsorship package this season on this truncated Thursday Night Lights package that we've put together for you this season. Well, now let's take a look at some of last week's Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals great moments from across the country.
305. Adams to the end zone. Caught! Caught! Jake Trumbo with a one-handed catch.
A falling down one-handed catch. That's going to make ESPN's highlights right there.
Well, the answer, Shorts steps up, throws. It's intercepted by the Monarchs. And on the return, Sabutka, ball's knocked loose, picked out of the air by Menendez.
He's aggressive, despite potential consequences. Here is Hurt. He's looking to throw back of the end zone, wide open.
And they'll start with Hewitt on the move, and he is swarmed and dropped. Williams coming over the middle in a dangerous spot, able to get that one off complete. He's got the first down up to midfield and more. Still on his feet, breaking tackles is Armani Diamond to the 15-yard line.
Domenico with trips to his right. He rolls that way. Now fires deep, got a man wide open, and what a catch! Touchdown!
Colton Beams, Colin Edwards. Back to receive. They kick, roll, drop, fall on it, be careful. Here they go. How about turning that into something? A huge return for Brighton, and not dragged down yet. He's going to the end zone.
Great moments from across the country this past week. Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals, part of our package nationwide. 21-3 Arrowhead on top of Kettle Moraine. More of our Cousins Subs halftime report when we return. And welcome back to the Cousins Halftime Report here on the Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights, presented by Landmark Credit Union. 21-3 Arrowhead here tonight, and each team taking advantage of some turnovers tonight.
Right. I mean, that has been kind of the theme that's played out through the night, but Arrowhead's been able to overcome a couple of those stumbles, and Charlie Smith has stepped in and done a very admirable job.
Plus the injury to Max Bredesen early in that first quarter kind of realigned or reset the table, if you will, for that Arrowhead offense trying to regroup here.
And so far, Chase Spellman just hasn't had those connections getting downfield.
Here you see one of the 2 sacks tonight of Spellman. This time he able to find Wagner on that particular play. Matt Wagner, the leading receiver. Very few connections tonight. Here's the tip ball and the interception late in that first half. That put Arrowhead in the red zone right away, and Renault had that nice bounce to the outside. And then the touchdown pass to Burklaw, capitalizing off that turnover.
Warhawks.
So the Warhawks getting points off turnovers, as did the Kettle Moraine Lasers tonight. But it's 21-3 Arrowhead on top of Kettle Moraine. Well, again, Cousins Subs, our halftime sponsor again this year. Chance to visit with Justin McCoy from Cousins Subs.
Hi, I'm Justin McCoy, Vice President of Marketing for Cousins Subs, and we're proud to be a sponsor of Thursday Night Lights. Cousins Subs was founded in 1972 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. As a Wisconsin-based organization, we are proud to give back to the communities that we call home. With nearly 100 locations here in the state of Wisconsin, we've been giving back since 1972. Our founder, Bill Specht, made it a point after founding Cousins Subs to be a part of the community and give back in all the ways that he could. In 2013, we formalized our giving back to the community by founding our Make It Better Foundation. That foundation gives back to the community in 3 different ways: through health and wellness, hunger, and youth education. Our support of local high schools, grade schools, and communities in southeastern Wisconsin is something we're very proud of. Our franchisees work with local high schools on donation nights and many other activities. And we'd like to just say a big thank you to all the coaches, the athletes, the administrations that have made high school sports happen this fall. With these unique circumstances, it's great to see these kids out on the field, and we're so proud for them and their families to be out here and playing football this fall in southeastern Wisconsin. We'd just like to say a big thank you from Cousins Subs, and enjoy the rest of the game.
And Justin, we thank you and the fine folks at Cousins Subs for putting together our halftime show this year. 21-3, Arrowhead on top of Kettle Moraine. We'll step out, back with more from Kettle Moraine High School after this. Just about ready to get set for our third quarter, and down on the sideline joining us, second-year head coach at Kettle Moraine, Matt McDonald. Matt, how you doing tonight?
Good. How you guys doing?
Great, great. What an interesting first half. You've had some opportunities in the red zone I think you'd probably like to have back.
No doubt about it. Yeah, we had 3 big ones and come up with 3 points, so that's frustrating.
Chase, you had mentioned that Chase Spellman has been doing a great job this year. It just seems he hasn't been able to get on track to make the connections with his receivers this evening.
I agree with that. He's, his feet are getting happy, and he's a sophomore and trying to make some big plays on a big game against a really good football team. And we just keep trying to tell him to settle down and play his game.
A lot of pressure coming from that front 4 and the blitzing linebackers from Arrowhead.
Yeah, they send 6 a lot and play some man coverage behind it, and we haven't been able to win on the edges to make them pay for it. So we're hoping we'll be able to do that here in the second half.
You get the ball to start this second half, so just to be able to move the chains here a little bit and get into a rhythm, I think, would be a key.
For sure. Yep, got to get a couple first downs, get some points, go get the momentum back in our favor, and flip the script here.
Well, good luck as you go forward, Coach. You've got an intelligent team. We'll talk about that later. Hopefully they're ready to make the adjustments.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Matt, thank you. Matt McDonald, second-year coach here at Kettle Moraine, kind enough to join us here before the third quarter kickoff. Yeah, that's basically the storyline was that unable to get points in the red zone for Kettle Moraine. They had opportunities, 3 trips to the red zone and just 3 points.
Well, that pressure from Arrowhead has been intense, and I just mentioned that idea of the intelligent. They've got 7 players for Kettle Moraine who are academic all-state, and I'm sure they got to get those blocking assignments figured out to give Chase Spellman a little bit more time so he can step into his throws.
Well, and, Arrowhead answered the call here, losing Max Bredesen in that first quarter, and Charlie Smith is really, I think, that first touchdown pass really got him in the confidence that he needed for the rest of this game.
Yeah, 6 out of 8. I mean, they're not going to be able to, as we mentioned, run that read option, but they are finding ways to throw the ball, and Renault and Tanky are going to have to pick up the slack on the in terms of the ground game.
You mentioned Kettle Moraine winning the coin toss, deferring to the second half, so they will get the ball to start this third quarter. Arrowhead team huddled up in their end zone. Kettle Moraine onto the sideline here. They're ready to go.
Well, we had talked about, this game being extremely important as they move forward. Whatever format the playoffs are going to have, both these teams needed to get this game, plus the additional one in terms of the seeding that's going to go in, is they're going to supposedly select 32 teams for each of the 7 divisions. And in terms of your placement, each of these wins becomes critical.
Yeah, Kettle Moraine has Mukwonago, I believe, next week, and then Arrowhead has Waukesha North. So it will be interesting to see how they pod these things up.
It's been a bizarre year. That's
to say the least.
Probably the adjective that's most applicable. One of the interesting matches within this game is kind of a family battle. Anthony Crivello is the defensive coordinator for Kettle Moraine, and across the field he's got his brother Sal coaching for Arrowhead. So I think they're probably competing for who gets the best table at Thanksgiving in terms of what goes on this rest of the game.
Wagner and Gendy, the deep men here for Kettle Moraine. Ty Bittman, second team all-conference. We mentioned earlier, preferred walk-on status to Madison next year. He will kick it off in our kickoffs this season. Brought to you by the DEA. Wagner circles under this one. Will take it on the run from his own 5. Wagner with some room, breaks it across the 30. Still on his feet to the 35-yard line. 30-yard return for Wagner. Lasers get good field position here. Ty Howard getting down on special teams for Arrowhead. Let's see if that's the spark the offense has been looking for here for Kettle Moraine.
Yeah, good field position to start off this drive.
Wagner and Logan Kowalski split out to the left side. Official stopping play here. Got a problem with the chain. This reminds me of that. Is that Geico commercial with the guys in the chain?
Either side of the bathroom, both sides of the car, they've got it all covered.
So while they get that straightened out, it's the last ride with Sam and Dean as they will face off with God himself to save all of existence during the final episodes of Supernatural. That's Thursdays at 7 on CW 18. Kind of reminds me of my life. One link shy. I think we got it fixed now. So here we go to start this third quarter. 1st and 10 from the 35. Spellman under pressure now. Steps up, delivers in traffic. Dangerous pass. Dropped incomplete. Looking for Nolan Schopp, the fullback. Jacob Parsons got a hand in there to poke it away.
Looked like Connor King was kind of free, doing a little halfback arc pass out into the flat there.
Spellman kind of glanced his way but never went back to check him. He was kind of locked in on trying to get that ball to Schopp. 2nd down and 10. 10 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 and 10. King, nowhere to go. Pulled down. Nate Hess, first team all-conference, there to make the stop. Loss of 2 sets up 3rd and 12.
Playing both ways tonight. Nate's getting a lot of D2 looks. 6'2", 250, moves very well.
Well, let's see what offensive coordinator Nick Schrader has drawn up here. 3rd and 12. Opening drive to start this 3rd quarter. Spellman will send Wagner in motion. Flag down. I think Wagner cut up field early. Spellman gets back to the original line of scrimmage, the 35. Braden Arnett there to make the stop, and I think that's what the flag is on that far side of the field. Looked like Wagner cut up field before the snap. You can run laterally, but you can't take that step or two out. At least in this league, Canadian Football League, you do that all day long.
Number 1 of the offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
So they decline the penalty. 3 and out.
Well, Braden Arnett is younger brother of Owen. Two very fine players, and Braden coming into this game, 24 tackles and 3 tackles for loss.
Shop does the punting, gets this one away. Burklaw came up, did not make a contact with the ball, and it'll roll dead at the 30-yard line. An excuse me attempt there. That could have been dangerous with the lasers coming down that time. But as it is, Arrowhead will take over at their own 30-yard line early here in this 3rd quarter. Again, Max Bredesen injured early in the 1st quarter on a scramble here to the near side. Talked with Matt Harris coming into the halftime, and thinks he's doing okay. He's on crutches on that sideline, but remains to be seen how serious that injury is. Smith will hand it off. Renault trying the right side, gets a couple. Luke Danielski there to make the stop, the outside linebacker for Kettle Moraine. Gain of 2 sets up 2nd and 8. The 32-yard line. Renault the single back. 3 receivers here to the near side. They'll give it to Renault. Left side to about the 34-yard line. Gain of 2 again. We'll set up a 3rd and 6. Drew Stipik hits his 5th tackle tonight for the Lasers.
Renault right now has rushed for about 70 yards so far this evening, having to take on a bigger role in the offense with Max Bredesen being out.
See, all the players have that play wristband on. They'll call certain numbers and colors. They'll check it down off that wristband. Smith with time. High, incomplete, looking for Burklaw. They connected earlier for a touchdown pass at the end of that 2nd quarter. So 4th down. There you see Bredesen on that sideline with the brace on that left knee. So Paldermacher on to punt this one away for Arrowhead. Either team able to get anything going on their opening drives here to start this 2nd half. Wagner inside the 30-yard line for Kettle Moraine. Paldermacher, short punt. Takes a backward bounce. Arrowhead touching it back at the 46-yard line. So it's going to be an excellent field position here once again for Kettle Moraine. Boy, they've given opportunities, Coach.
Right.
They have not been able to capitalize on them.
That's one of those frustrating things when, we talked about the coaches both mentioning last week the lack of execution really, contributed to their losses. So it's going to be interesting to see, are they able to kind of focus, have this drive result in getting a touchdown and get themselves back into the game.
Two by two slots here as well. Single back is King. And they read option. They fake to King, pass it out. Completes to Spencer. Reed Spencer, the tight end, takes it down to the 36-yard line of Arrowhead. Gain of 15 on the play. Jake Bloomer, along with Sam Cradell, both there to make the stop.
Spellman to Spencer.
Good quick throw that time, right on the mark.
Same formation here. Community Advocate first down. First one of the second half, and look out. King wrestled down immediately by Nate Hess once again. Hess, the leader of that defensive line. He read that play well, came right off his block, slipped inside. Went off the left shoulder that time of Soulful, the right tackle. Slide in to make that play. Loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Penalty markers and whistles will stop the play.
False start, number 2 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Holzhauer, the flanker that time, guilty of the motion. Sets up 2nd and 17 now for the Lasers. Football back near the 44-yard line. Chase Spellman under pressure. Spellman gets it out near the sideline here. He'll lose a few as he stepped out near midfield. They'll mark him out at the 48-yard line of Arrowhead.
Hess again applying pressure, forcing him out of the pocket.
Again, all of that coming pretty much between the tackles, that pressure.
Yeah, you kind of contrast that with the good protection that Charlie Smith has been afforded by his offensive line.
So loss of 3, 3rd and 20 now for Kettle Moraine. Need to get it to the 28-yard line for the first down. They send Wagner in motion. Spellman again under pressure, wants to set up the screen, gets it to Connor King. King breaks one tackle, takes it inside the 45 and down to the 43-yard line. Getting him down there was Bryan and Bloomer. So gain of 5, well short of the first down. 4th and 15 coming up. Once again, Shop on to punt.
Well, they weren't able to capitalize on that short punt from Arrowhead. And once again, that's been a reoccurring theme tonight, not being able to take advantage of the opportunities they're presented with.
Owen Arnett now back deep to return this punt for Arrowhead. This will be a knuckling punt. Bounces around the 30-yard line, and we're rolled dead at the 31. So Warhawks will take over at their own 31-yard line with 7 minutes to play here in the third, leading by a score of 21-3. Looking to get to 4-2 on this short season. As we said, they've got Waukesha North scheduled next week. Meanwhile, Lasers lost their first game of the season to COVID.
They didn't get a chance to meet with Waukesha West.
Yep. They will play Mukwonago next week. That's their scheduled opponent. And they'll run up the middle. Renault out across the 25 to about the 26-yard line. Brought down on the play by Jackson Holzhauer. This is where Arrowhead now can go to work if they can get 3-4 yards of carry here, melt some of this clock. Up 21-3. And they defensive line to jump. This will be a neutral zone infraction here against Kettle Moraine. Boy, the mental mistakes tonight by the Lasers.
Encroachment. That's on the defense, number 35. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Second week in a row. Kettle Moraine has struggled here. So 2nd and 3. Again, Renault stopped and stood up. Not much there at all. Tanner Carlson got him first for the Lasers.
So they're going to bring Matt Lutz back in there as that fullback / blocking back. See if he leads this play.
And again, movement up front. The hard count by Charlie Smith will pick him up. A community advocate first down by penalty.
Dead ball foul, encroachment, number 50 of the defense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
I'm sure defensive coordinator Anthony Crivello is, ripping his hair out watching 2 plays give them first downs.
Drops the snap. Smith will fall on it. Loss of 4. So 2nd and about 14 upcoming here for Arrowhead. One of the few times they've not been able to get that snap back to the quarterback. Now Tanky is in there as a running back. He'll line up behind Charlie Smith, the quarterback. Again, Max Bredesen injured in the first quarter. He's on the sidelines, far sideline for Arrowhead. The brace on that left knee. Smith with time. Coming back, and dig route that time. Coming back for it was Burklaw, but it was thrown away near the far sideline. Now we've got penalty markers all over the middle of the field. Some frustration starting to set in now. Pat Gill has been busy tonight.
We have a dead ball foul, personal foul, number 50 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, it just continues to unravel here for Kettle Moraine tonight. Dead ball, personal foul after the play, so 15 more and an automatic first down. Arrowhead starting to flex its will now. Kettle Moraine frustrated at themselves, no doubt, for those offside penalties, and unfortunately can't take it out on the opponent. Smith steps up, looking, and it's incomplete. Brady Russ, the intended receiver that time.
Covered well that time. He going to try to force that in there.
Vinipal there was the defender, and it's good to see him back in there. He got injured back in that first half. Had a little bit of a stinger or shoulder injury of some sort. 2nd and 10 from the 48. This time it's Tanky, nowhere to go. Offensive line that time for Arrowhead could not open up a hole. Reed Spencer able to knife his way through to make the stop.
Well, the defense is really not, paying attention to that read option look from the quarterback. They know it's going to be a give. Gives them a bit of an advantage.
Well, 3rd and 11. Clock continues to roll. 4:40 to play here in the 3rd. Long time getting the play in from the sideline there, from the far side. Matt Harris, offensive coordinator Kyle Burlingame. See what they dial up here on 3rd and 11. Smith steps up, looking far side. It's going to be picked off. Jackson Van Opel with the interception that time. Looking for Burklaw, and that pass well overthrown. And it was Jackson Van Opel, the senior, able to come away with the 3rd turnover of the game for Kettle Moraine. One more look before we head to break. Nice over-the-shoulder interception grab. And Kettle Moraine turns away Arrowhead. When we come back, our Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights presented by Landmark Credit Union. Jackson Van Opel's interception sets up Kettle Moraine here at their own 16-yard line. Back at Volk Field in Wales tonight. Been all Arrowhead. Connor King with a nice carry out to the 30-yard line. 20-yard line, excuse me. There to make the stop was Ty Hauer. Kettle Moraine needs a spark here. They have just kind of stumbled their way around here. King wrapped up in the backfield for a loss. Number 5 again, Ty Hauer. Second tackle in a row for Hauer in there now. Coach, what are you doing? You're taking him out.
Well, Nate Hess helped get that tackle as well. I think, trying to keep some fresh bodies in there.
Quickly now, it's 3rd and long for Kettle Moraine. King the single back. They'll fake it to him. Wagner with a grab over the middle. And did he hang on to it? Yes, he did. Out to the 39-yard line. 19-yard pickup. Josh Ferrito was with him step for step. Couldn't take it away.
Spellman's had some better passes this half. If he keeps getting some protection, might be able to get this offense rolling.
Let's see now. Another first down here by Community Advocates for Kettle Moraine late here in this 3rd quarter. A rush 4. Now protection breaks down. Spellman flushed out of the pocket. He'll just throw this one back near side. Diving grab made by Matt Wagner. The junior able to come back to this quarterback, find him, make the catch. Brian was there to cover him up. Coach, that's something receivers have to have. When they know the quarterback is scrambling like that, the receiver breaks his route, came back to him to find him.
You see so many coaches work in practice scramble drills now. Years ago that wasn't something that popped into their mind. But
late give to Connor King, got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. May have lost a yard. A little bit of a read option look that time by Spellman. Hez and Arnett have been busy tonight. They came in to make the stop.
Arrowhead's been pretty stout against the run, and forcing Chase Spellman to have to, carry the offense here.
2nd down, 11. Spellman gets it out quickly, and it's thrown behind the intended receiver. Logan Kowalski, flanker in there. All season long, when a team gets inside their opponent's 20, they enter the Stritch red zone. Text Go Wolves to 75644 for information about Cardinal Stritch University.
Kowalski, a good target, 6'8", basketball player.
3rd and 11 from the 44. This time Spellman with time. It's thrown in traffic and bobbled and dropped. Oh, Luke Danelski had it right in his hands, could not contain it.
Yeah, that's when Luke wishes he had back. He's, committed to Minnesota Duluth. Another one of the two-way players we're seeing in tonight's game as well.
4th down, and Nolan Shop going to punt this one away. Arrowhead with nobody back.
Yeah, they're coming to the time where you might expect a fake punt.
Nobody deep for Arrowhead here. Shop's going to punt it away. Try and get down to cover it. It bounces around the 10-yard line, goes out of bounds at the 9. So pin Arrowhead deep in their own territory late here in the 3rd. So unable to do much after the interception. So spotted at the 9 for Arrowhead here.
Well, an effective punt. That's certainly something that Kettle Moraine has to maybe work to their advantage.
And Charlie Smith at quarterback. If you're just joining us, Max Bredesen injured in the first half. And a timeout being taken here by Arrowhead.
Yeah, Charlie Smith, looked around and something wasn't adding up, and so he quickly made the decision, call the timeout.
That gives us a chance to visit with Luka Pavlakis from Sweetwater.
Hi, my name is Luka, and I'm the volunteer coordinator at Sweetwater. We're currently running a program called Adopt or Drain. In football, it takes all 11 players working together to score a touchdown. Just like it takes all 11 players to score a touchdown in football, it takes everybody living in the Milwaukee area to make sure that our waters and our lakes stay clean. When it rains, if there's debris in our storm drains or trash or litter, that stuff can get in and cause problems. It could cause property damage, flooding, and it could cause pollution in our waterways. To learn more about this and to get active and help our community, visit the website here.
Luka, thank you, and we thank the fine folks at Sweetwater for being with us again this season. Arrowhead taking a timeout to start this drive from their own 9. Give it to Renault. Fights his way forward out to about the 10, gain of 1. Brought down by Carlson again, Tanner Carlson. Well, you mentioned in your coach's game plan tonight, Terry, about make sure to use their depth to wear down Kettle Moraine, and rotating these backs in here now. We'll see if that has that effect here heading into the 4th quarter.
The offensive line has provided Smith with good protection, but they haven't quite been able to get that ground game.
2nd and 8. Tanky with some running room across the 15. Brought down on the play by Christian Dunnick. Sets up 3rd down. We'll call it 5. And they'll let the clock run out here to end our 3rd quarter. It's been all Arrowhead tonight. Late interception in the 2nd quarter really turned this game around. 21-3, Arrowhead on top of Kettle Moraine as we head to the 4th. Our Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights presented by Landmark Credit Union. We head to the 4th here in Wales. Coming up following the game, stay tuned for our Champions Trophy presentation. We'll have that for you at the end of the ball game tonight. Smith picked up the drop snap, got the pass away, and the catch is made here on the near side. Nicely done, Brady Russ. The 6-foot senior able to come up with the catch and move the chains. One more look.
I believe that's Brady's 3rd catch on the night.
A lot of traffic there. He was able to concentrate, make the catch just shy of the 30-yard line. Another Community Advocate first down here for Arrowhead. Reneau tackled across the 30-yard line. They'll give him the 31. Gain of about 2. David Trafton making the stop.
You know, defensive coordinator Anthony Crivello, we mentioned earlier, has to be pleased with how they've handled the run. It's just been the passing attack that's given him a little bit of difficulty.
Again, Arrowhead trying to take as much time as they can. Charlie Smith, they said, is going to wait for that back judge to start counting. Reneau across the 31 out to about the 33-yard line. Sets up 3rd and long now for Arrowhead. A good rebound game here for Arrowhead after they struggled last week against Waukesha West. West getting some of their key players back. We had them the week before at McWanago, and they gave Muck all they could handle.
Yeah, they were down 3 offensive linemen that game, and they were back last week, and it made a real difference versus Arrowhead.
3rd down and 7. Smith with time. Delivers, and it is almost picked off. Overshot Brady Russ again. Jackson Van Opel nearly had his 2nd pick of the night for the Lasers. There's the brain trust for Heartland Arrowhead. Matt Harris, the glasses there.
Came over to Arrowhead from Waukesha North. He had done a nice job with the North program. Said this was his dream job, otherwise you never would have left Waukesha North.
Wagner standing inside the 30. Paldermacher, a high spiral kick, will bounce at the Laser 40 and will be touched dead there at the 40-yard line. 9:53 to play. Kettle Moraine running out of time here. They've got to get something going. Coach, we talked about it in your coach's game plan too. They had to quick passing game needed to work tonight. That has not happened, and several foolish penalties tonight again for the 2nd week in a row.
Right. You know, for the most part, their defense has hung in there, and it's now the offense's responsibility to see what they can generate with 9:56 left.
Spellman, the sophomore, goes over the middle, ball tipped and nearly picked off. Looked like Owen Arnett got the tip. He has been busy tonight. First team all-conference again, 4-year starter. Well, you know, with this, this offense, you have kind of like a three-point shooter in basketball. You shoot yourself into a slump, you can shoot yourself out of one. As that pass dumped off here to Danielski. You know, Spellman's one of those streak quarterbacks where suddenly he gets a little confidence and gets a little momentum going. Is Arnett in there to make the stop again? You get a look at Luke Danielski, the senior.
Yeah, other than maybe on 2 occasions, he hasn't had a chance to really throw deep. That hasn't presented itself. So if that short passing game isn't hitting quickly and efficiently, they're kind of in a tough position.
This will be 3rd and 6 for the Lasers, just short of their own 45. Wagner in motion near side. Pressure coming, wants to set up the screen and threw it low and incomplete.
And who was waiting right there to make the tackle? Mr. Nate Hess.
Nate Hess. Kettle Moraine, see what they do. It looks like the offense is going to stay out there now. You're in 4-down territory here with under 9 minutes to play, and you're down 21-3. got to make something here.
We had talked about using a screen pass a little earlier tonight because of the pressure Arrowhead's been doing, but Hess certainly read his keys and was able to get right on top of that.
Big fourth down here. 4th and 6. Here they come. Spellman lofts it out, and it's going to be picked off on that far sideline. Who else? Owen Arnett with the interception. Second pick of the year for Arnett. One more look. Too much air underneath this one, Coach.
He could, once again, the pressure was coming on him. Good coverage by Arrowhead out in the flat there.
He had both Spencer and Wagner out there. But Arnett able to come away with the pick. 4th turn tonight by the Laser offense. So Arrowhead will take over at midfield. Charlie Smith, the quarterback, wants to throw here. And go back over the middle, and it's thrown into traffic. Incomplete, thrown into double coverage. Again, looking for Brady Russ on a post route. Surprise there. Looked like going for the knockout punch right there. .8:45 to play. 2nd down and 10 upcoming here for Arrowhead. Just across midfield. And they'll hand it off. Renault up the middle to about the 45-yard line. Gain of about 4. Sets up a 3rd and 6 now for Arrowhead.
Well, when
Parker Schluter was there to make the stop. Go ahead.
Excuse me. When your offense has been predicated on running a certain system, you know, and so much of it with that read option, I'm sure the Arrowhead coaches are going to have to evaluate, okay, how do we make adjustments going into our last regular season game next week and been ready to get moving forward?
3 receivers here to the near side on 3rd and 6 from the 45. We'll change the play look here. Back judge just begins his count. Some pressure. Smith finds his man open on the far side. That was Elijah Mayer-Parr. His 3rd catch tonight. It'll be enough for a Community Advocate first down.
Nice pickup on the block in the backfield by Jordan Renault. Gave Charlie just enough time to make that completion.
10-yard pickup. Another fresh set of downs here for Arrowhead. Smith again going to fire. Going over the middle, and Wagner playing secondary almost came up with a pick. Wagner in nickel now. That extra defensive back there for Kettle Moraine. Second time Smith has thrown that ball into traffic. 2nd and 10 now for Arrowhead. They'll hand it off. Renault with some running room over the right side. Down to the 31-yard line. Gain of about 4. Good close that time by Van Opel. Able to come in and make that stop. And he got hurt in the 2nd quarter. We had a little bit of a left shoulder dinged up toward the end of that 2nd quarter. And he's been back out there playing like a champ tonight for the Lasers. So 3rd and 6 from the 30-yard line. They'll give it again. Renault with some room. He'll get the first down inside the 25, down to the 24-yard line. Gain of about 7, and another Community Advocate first down. Matt Wagner coming up to make the tackle.
Yeah, Renault has got about 90 yards on the evening. Stepped up and has taken over the role of being the lead ball carrier.
Renault is the single back. 2 receivers to the left. Again, they'll give it to Renault. Gets it down to the 20. That ball came out. Looks like he recovered. Tanner Carlson got in there to make the stop. It's about 5 or 6 tackles now tonight for Carlson.
Yeah, that middle 5 of that, out of that whole 3-4 defense of Gullrude, Schleiter, Genzel, and Carlson and Drafton have done a very good job for the most part of stopping up that run game.
Midway through the 4th. Arrowhead facing 2nd and 7. They will hand it off. Zach Meinert. Just his 2nd or 3rd carry tonight. As they enter the stretch red zone inside the opponent's 20. Excuse me, Jackson Holzhauer made the stop. Another critical 3rd down here for Arrowhead, trying to melt some of this clock here. Facing a 3rd and 5. Change the play once again from the sideline. And what do we get, a timeout or delay a game?
Delay a game.
I know they were waiting for the back judge to start counting, but they took too much
delay
time.
Of game. Number 8 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
It was tough to spot the official. He was way back on the end line, right underneath the goalpost.
Okay, coach, I'll buy that. Would you? Your quarterback says, I didn't see him counting.
Well,
I lost him by the goalpost.
It gets real dark at the back there.
Makes it 3rd and 10 now for Arrowhead. Wants to put it up. Going back over the middle. Catch is made inside the 5, down to the 3-yard line. Ty Bittman, the tight end. His first catch tonight. Matt Wagner brought him down. It'll be 1st and goal, Arrowhead.
Yeah, Ty doesn't get thrown the ball very much. When he's in there, oftentimes it's only to be a blocker. Obviously, he's so effective as a kicker for them. It does the job, but I believe that's his 2nd catch on the year.
1st and goal, Arrowhead. From the 3. They'll give it to Meinert, and he's got nowhere to go. Wrapped up by Tanner Carlson. He's played a nice game tonight. Honorable mention all conference a season ago, the senior inside linebacker for Kettle Moraine.
Coach Crivello, as we I think mentioned earlier, they look to Tanner to be the leader of their defense, and he's done an excellent job tonight.
2nd down and goal. This time Braden Arnett in the backfield here. Again, that snap rolled back to Smith. Going to go back corner of the end zone. Trouble there. Lucky that was just thrown incomplete. Burklaw got tangled up. He was the intended target for the back pylon. Brady Stutz was back there in coverage. Sets up 3rd and goal now. Clock stopped, 3:24 to play.
Well, offensive coordinator Kyle Burlingame has got to be looking and saying, okay, what is it we're going to be able to do best moving forward, and how are we going to make adjustments? We've seen a variety of personnel groupings in here. You know, what is it that Arrowhead's going to be moving forward?
3rd and goal. Smith on the rollout. Looking back of the end zone, it's going to be picked off. Jackson Holzhauer with the pick. And that'll lead us to our commercial break. 3:17 to go. Kettle Moraine with their 4th takeaway of the night, but they trail 21-3. Jackson Holzhauer with that interception. Boy, he has had a terrific game tonight defensively for Kettle Moraine.
Well, Holzhauer, was probably slated to be the quarterback coming into this year, but they looked at what they needed on defense, and they thought if we put him there, we let Spellman be the quarterback, it's going to be what's best for the team.
Interception, a fumble recovery, and 6 tackles tonight as Spellman throws this one away on first down. Three takeaways tonight by Kettle Moraine. They've been unable to do anything with them, only 3 points. We look at it again on the rollout. Pass was intended for Colin Argue. Holzhauer with his 2nd takeaway tonight. Interception and a fumble recovery tonight. 2nd down and 10. Spellman has a man out there, Connor King. King was belted as he got across the 5-yard line. Guess who? Owen Arnett. Meet Mr. Connor King. One more look. You can feel this collision back in Waterford tonight.
Well, Owen, on the season, he's got himself a fumble recovery for a touchdown, 4 tackles for loss behind the line. Tonight, he's got another interception on the year, 5 tackles. You can see why, first team all-conference, and if there's somewhere on the field where there's the ball, you're going to find Owen Arnett right there.
That's why, as you said, it's imperative now that Arrowhead finds an identity offensively now. Pass it out here to the near side. Nice grab. First catch of the night for Logan Kowalski. Owen Arnett, as we were just talking about, comes in to make another play. Now Lasers go hurry up. They pick up the first down out near the 19-yard line. Spellman going to dump it out. Again, looking for that 6'8" frame of Kowalski, trying to frame that one in, but just overthrown.
Well, that's the 36th pass Kettle Moraine's had tonight. Running game hasn't been there, and I think Arrowhead defensive coordinators Cam Gonring and Dan D'Amico have to be pleased with the overall performance of the defense tonight.
Yeah, Kettle Moraine takes on Mukwonago next week. That's their scheduled opponent. Arrowhead will face Waukesha North. Spellman with time. Going back over the middle. It was underthrown, incomplete, looking for Danielski. Check that shot. Broken up by Jacob Parsons. 3rd and 10 now for the Lasers. Each team with 1 game remaining, and then the WIA is going to create this pod playoff format.
Yeah, it's going to be quite different from the typical playoff scenario.
Spellman scrambling near sideline. Tried to toss it up to Kowalski. Did he come down with it? No, he did not. He was out of bounds.
Yeah, they're still going to select 32 teams in each of the 7 divisions, but, a couple of the wrinkles this year, there are so few D1 teams. Some schools who typically are Division II are going to get forced up. You're going to see some schools more than ever before in with losing records. However, I think people are just happy to see the kids get a chance to play. I'm sure coaches, you know, are looking at the kids and they're saying, hey, you got your chance. We have to be grateful for that. Now let's take advantage of what's in front of us.
Some big games tomorrow night around the area. Get Burlington and Union Grove, a couple undefeated teams for the Southern Lakes Conference title. This punt will roll across the 50. And that gets down to the 38-yard line. Minute 30 to go. Arrowhead in control. Watch your favorite animated shows, including The Simpsons, Family Guy, and Bob's Burgers. It's a new time for Animayhem, weeknights starting at 10, right here on My 24.
I'm sure Muskego will try to keep its season rolling along.
Yeah, they've got, what, McWanago? Do I see that? No. Who do they have? Who am I thinking of?
Trying to remember.
Brain freeze.
It's been a year where brain freeze can become quite normal because, you know, last week we had 4 different scenarios of what game we were going to do. It just, COVID has been an odd impact on so many phases of our lives.
Handed off, and Renault got belted a couple of times there as he tried to get back to the line of scrimmage. Braden Stoffel was there to make the play.
They've put Alex Duke, one of their offensive linemen, in there as well on that defensive front.
So Arrowhead gets to 4-2. And for Kettle Moraine now, they go to 2-3. Arrowhead doing the smart thing here, not trying to run anything up. Matt Harris just content to get out of here, and he's got some figuring to do without. There's head coach Matt Harris there with the glasses. Max Bredesen injured tonight. What his status might be in the next couple of weeks. That's our final snap. And Arrowhead will get out of here, avenging a late season loss last year to Kettle Moraine as they knock off the Lasers tonight by a score of 21-3. Arrowhead 4-2. Kettle Moraine 2-3. Second straight loss now for the Lasers. We'll step out. We'll be back with our Champions Trophy presentation along with our watershed moment. A few final words here tonight from Wales, Wisconsin. Your final Arrowhead 21, Kettle Moraine 3. Back after this.